Hello everybody, welcome back, and this is the final video in my first dephemerember journal. As you can see from my desk, I've been busy and I've just got one page left in here to do, and it's this page. And I just wanted to show you this page because I think this is one of the simplest ideas ever, and it's quite, I think, quite effective as well. Now, I've been looking for ways to use my snippet roll as I've been working through this journal, and I've put one as like a belly band across the middle of some pages, but I also thought actually they kind of look nice cut into smaller pieces like this. And the other thing I've been doing is I've been going through my journal and making sure I have one of everything that we made in dephemerember in this journal. And this is my final thing to put in, and this was the Shaker Tagger Moon Dust. Now, I loved how these came out. However, the pink colour I used doesn't necessarily go with too much else that's in my journal. So I'm going to do a little bit of a sneaky because this is a reference journal for me mainly, and I'm going to hide this one in a pocket, but not any pocket. Now, this is a paper bag, as you can see. This came from one of our local pharmacies, and this was quite a bit longer. So it was a long, narrow paper bag. I figured out how big I need it to fit onto this page, and all I've done is folded the top in. Did you see that on the camera? I haven't even cut it. I've just folded the top of it in. I'm going to stick that on there. I'm going to stick my snippet roll on top, and there you have an expanding pocket. Let me show you. Now, I could use either side. Let's have a look. Actually, I quite like the little bit of colour you get that side. It picks up the colour on here. Let's just fiddle with that a little bit. That's better. Alright, so first off, I'm going to stick this to here. And I'm going to use some silicone glue, hopefully the last little bit of it. It really does feel like the last bit. That's good. Alright. So I'm going to pop this on. Instant pocket. I am going to do one more thing because I've got this quite cool brads. And I think one of these green ones look really cute just on here. Now, these are really small. Just looking for the tool I need. There we go. I'm literally just going to find the middle, and I'm just going to put a little hole, poke that brad through. Now, I am going to do one more thing. Bear with me a second. Here we go. I've got a little bit of washi tape here. Now, I happen to know that this washi tape isn't terribly sticky. Goodness me, I really do need to sort my glue out. Been saying that all week, haven't I? But when you live an hour from the nearest shops, you don't always get to sort things out immediately. Right, just over the back of that brad. Ugh, my hands are really sticky. I'm going to glue that piece of washi tape so that when things are going in and out of that pocket, they're not catching. Okay. Glue on the back of the bag. This is a gasset bag. You know, it's got the gassets at the side, but it doesn't need to be. You can do this with any kind of bag. It just makes your pocket bigger or smaller. Flip it over. Gosh, I need to stand up just see if that's more or less straight. All right, and there we go. We have a pocket. You see that? Literally, really simple. And I'm going to, I want this for reference, but as I say, I don't feel the colour really goes with the rest of the journal, so I'm just going to tuck it away in there. All right, look guys, that's the all the pages done. I will come back and show you. I'm going to have a flip through in a minute, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away and I'm going to take these signatures out and I'm going to stitch them onto a false spine. All right, so what I have done is I've made my false spine here, just like that, and this is literally just another piece of this scrapbook paper with a couple of layers of card behind it. I've created myself a little template, marked my holes, whether you can see that or you might be able to see that. So I've marked my holes. I'm going to attach my signatures to here, and then I'm going to glue this in. Do you know, I've just realised it's a long time since I've done a spine like this. More recently, I've just been putting them straight through the actual cover, but I decided to do, oh, some people call them false spines or a hidden spine. You may have another name for them. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So I've got my holes in there. I've got my two signatures here. I'm just using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and in all honesty guys, there are that many videos out there showing you how to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch far better than I could. That I am not, oh now this is not going to sit in there. This is my little thing I usually use for making holes. It's not going to sit in there because it's a funny shape. I'm just going to find a bit of foam. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I will just let you watch along. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But as I say, I'm not going to go into details about 3-hole pamphlet stitch right now. Okay, that spine is more or less dry and I've just got the last sort of edges clamped together there. So whilst that's drying, the last thing I want to do is to finish off my closure. Now I'd left this piece of hessian long because I wasn't sure how fat the journal was going to get. But what I've done now is I think it needs to be about there. And I've marked where I want my buttonhole. Now what I'm going to do is to double this over with a little bit spare past the buttonhole. And that will give it a little bit more strength where the buttonhole is going to be. And what I'm going to try and do, I've still got my big needle here, which may be too big, but I will try. I'm going to, I'm just going to clamp that there and there. And I'm going to try and remember how to do buttonhole stitch and just stitch a buttonhole here. So this will be amusing. I haven't done any kind of embroidery for years. Okay, I'm hoping that buttonhole is going to hold, but what's happened is that this is starting to pull off here, so I need a bit more of the stronger glue on here. Oh, that's got a big blob there. Let's spread that around a little bit. And I'll put another clip on there for a moment. Alright, let's leave that to dry and I'll come back. Alright, so I think I can officially say that my first dephemerember journal is finished. Now, I'm not doing this up just at the moment because what I have done is put a little bit of that silicone glue around the back of that buttonhole that I made just to give it a little bit of extra strength. I'm a little bit worried this weave might pull away, so that is still slightly sticky, but anyway, the idea is that that will do up like that. We can undo. Let's have a look through. So this is how it came out. So we're trying out a whole load of different things here, a very unusual shape journal, as well as the idea of compartmental making and making all the ephemera first and then putting it into a journal. And for me, those two things, you know, they both have to work for it to be a success. And I have to say, I love the compartmental making, and I've really enjoyed having everything ready. And actually, this journal has probably come together, yeah, reasonably quickly. I've probably done this over about 3 or 4 sessions over the course of a week, so for me much quicker than it would do normally. So there we go. All right, let's have a look. We've got our label here and of course our prompt list. need to keep that. I'm not going to talk about each page. I'm just going to flick through. You can have a look. So there we are. One last little comment. This was the beautiful card that came from my lovely swap partner Gajana at Diary of a Creative Therapist, and this came in my swap box, and I thought what a lovely memento to keep. One last thing to show you. I put a hole in the spine there with a what am I calling them? An eyelet. There we go. And I've attached one of the bookmarks that I made, and this was the, I think, bookmark and plastic packaging. So that was my little one of my small bookmarks I made, and I've attached that to the spine there, as you can see. And I love doing these because they can hang down the side as a dangle, or you can use them as a bookmark in any of your pages. So it can come out, go into any of the pages. So there we go, first Dephemerember journal completed. And as I say, I have to say I really like this process. So I'm going to say a big shout out to Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and Louise Heinzel. Thank you once again for running this challenge and for introducing us to the concept of compartmental making. I do think it's something I will be doing again. All right, I do have my other journal, which I'm going to be putting the rest of the ephemera in, that I made in the Dephemerember challenge. Now, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be doing that right now, because I have some other quite exciting things coming up. So I will have a think over the next couple of days, and I'll jump back on and let you know what's going to be happening next. But for now, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for watching, and for those of you who have sort of started following along for the first time during the Dephemerember challenge, thank you so much. For now, I will be back soon, but for now I'm going to say ka kite anō.